She's looking a little
I'm
peaked.
gonna have one of these now.
Yeah.
And something later.
I think you should. I brought myself some lemon.
This is
Yeah, but they're going to be.
Huh?
every 10 minutes. I'm just gonna have one of those.
Yeah,
What
but
did you get?
A little drip feed.
We'll go ahead and call this Norwood City Council meeting to order. I know typically at this time I have everyone stand for a moment of reflection and Pledge of Allegiance, but we had two members of the city community, City Hall community pass away in the past, this month. And I did want to I threw some thoughts together on one. So last Friday, many of us heard the sad news of the passing of former Norwood Mayor Thomas F. Williams. Tom served Norwood as a member of the police department for 34 years, Norwood councilman at large for 2 years, and then 4 terms as mayor. 52 years of dedication, service, and commitment to the city and the community that he loved and proudly called home. During his 16 years as mayor, Tom was never there to sell out Norwood. He was out there selling Norwood, a place for residents. There were some moments that brought about a new shine to this gem of the Highlands, and there were also times where tough decisions had to be made. Tough decisions that at the time were not well received, but will prove to be the reason why Norwood is still here, still independent, and still going strong. When it came down to business and making decisions, Tom had his own well thought out plans, ideas, thoughts, and strategies, and at time it was easy to disagree with him. But at the end of the day, he still respected those disagreements and differences, as well as the individuals who presented them. Thomas F. Williams was the right person for the job at the right time. As mayor, he wasn't thinking of his legacy when governing and making tough decisions, but having the courage and wisdom to make those tough decisions while he was governing is what will prove to be his legacy. On behalf of Norwood City Council, I would like to extend our heartfelt condolences to Mary Ann, Tom and Donna, Lisa and Brett, Emily, Thomas, Daniel, Grace, and Cecilia. I'm also sad to report the passing of Barb Henderson. Barb worked here at Norwood City Hall for over 30 years. At this time, I ask everyone to please stand, recognize a moment of silence in honor of former Norwood Mayor, Mayor Thomas F. Williams, and Barb Henderson. Thank you. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call the roll, please.
Mrs. Franklin.
Here.
Mrs. Hoover.
Here.
Ms. Roy.
Here.
Mrs. Bowling. Here. Mr. Moore.
Here.
Mr. Gerden.
Here.
Mr. Whitman.
Here. We have all members present this evening. Moving on to amendments of the agenda. We have several. We have a communication from the auditor regarding reports. We will make that as item Q7, so that will be the 7th item under communications. We will add another communication from the auditor. This one is regarding records retention. This will be item Q8. We are moving communication 1 from PLK, request to address council, to immediately follow the approval of the minutes on the agenda. We are adding adding ordinance M6. And this is an ordinance regarding medical equipment, and adding ordinance M7. This is regarding gas aggregation. Mr. Gardner.
Make a motion to amend the agenda as stated.
Motion by Mr. Gerton to amend the agenda as stated. Mrs. Bowling.
Wait a second.
Seconded by Mrs. Bowling. Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mrs. Franzen?
Yes.
Mrs. Hoover?
Yes.
Ms. Royce? Mrs. Bowling?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Gerton?
Yes.
Mr. Braden?
Yes, ma'am.
All members present voting yes, the motion carries. Moving on to minutes of previous meeting. Those are minutes from the July 8th, 2025 meeting. Ms. Royce.
I move we accept the minutes as if read.
Motion by Ms. Royce to approve the minutes as if read. Mr. Gardner.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Gardner. Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mrs. Franzen?
Yes.
Mrs. Hoover?
Yes.
Ms. Royce?
Yes.
Mrs. Bowling?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Gerton?
Yes.
Mr. Braden?
Yes, ma'am.
All members present voting yes, the motion carries. Next item on the agenda is the communication from Mick Oakes, PLK Associate Developer, regarding requests to address council.
This is Mick Oakes with PLK Communities. I'm reaching out regarding the hearing date for the Robertson South PUD. We'd like to attend a council meeting prior to the hearing to give a brief presentation and address any questions from staff. Thank you, Mick Oakes.
Thank you. Mrs. Franzen,
I move we receive and file the communication
and allow
and allow
Mr.
Mr. Oates to speak.
Thank you. Motion by Mrs. Franzen to receive and file the communication and allow Mr. Oakes to present. Oh. Yes.
I'll second, but I believe he's left.
All right. Mrs. Franzen.
If I am correct, I believe he was at the previous
Correct.
housing meeting. That may be what he felt was appropriate for that. So I still, if he comes back, he's welcome to speak. But
Okay.
I still move that we receive and file the communication.
All right. Thank you. And the second,
I will second that.
this is seconded by Mrs. Hoover.
Thank you.
Any discussion? Call the roll. Oh, Mrs. Hoover.
I was just going to say, for folks who had questions, you can watch the housing meeting that was at 5:30 today for a big conversation about the Robertson South development.
All right. Thank you. Any further discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mrs. Franzen?
Yes.
Mrs. Hoover?
Yes.
Ms. Royce?
Yes.
Mrs. Bowling?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Gerton?
Yes.
And Mr. Braden?
Yes, ma'am.
All members present voting yes, the motion carries. Since Mr. Oakes is not in council chambers at this time, we will go ahead and move on to second reading of ordinances and resolutions. And the first is an ordinance. Oh, I'm sorry, I did. Look, we go on vacation for one meeting and I'm already skipping down the agenda. Yes, request to address council. The first is Tanya Cook.
Hi, my name is Tanya Cook. I live at 2323 Indian Mound. Thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight. I am the Community Cat Program Coordinator at Ohio Alley Cat Resource, which is a nonprofit that served Greater Cincinnati for 25 years. I'm here to share an important initiative that we're starting in Norwood right now. It's the Trap Neuter Return Program, otherwise known as TNR. It's a humane and effective way to manage the community cat population. Before I explain how it works, let me share a quick story. A few months ago, I helped a resident in Price Hill who was overwhelmed. She started feeding a couple cats a few years ago, and within a year, there were a dozen in her backyard. She didn't want them harmed, but she did not know what to do. We stepped in, helped trap the cats, had them spayed and neutered, vaccinated, and returned. Within days, the yowling and fighting had stopped, the cats were healthy, and the homeowner was relieved. That's the kind of solution we want to bring to Norwood. And she's not alone. Just last week, a Norwood resident reached out to us who has 10 cats in their backyard and is worried about kittens being born under their porch. Community cats are sometimes called feral cats, are part of our neighborhoods. They're not strays that can easily be adopted out. They're outdoor cats that have adapted to living outside. The challenge comes when they aren't spayed or neutered because their numbers can explode quickly. One unspayed female can have up to 3 litters a year, and in just a few years, one pair of cats can lead to hundreds of kittens. That means more yowling, fighting, spraying, and a higher risk of disease. It also puts a big strain on animal control and shelters that simply cannot keep up. And unfortunately, without TNR, the traditional response often means removing the cats from the area, only for new unneutered cats to move in and take their place. That's where Trap, Neuter, Return, or TNR, plays a vital role. The process begins by humanely trapping the community cats using safe methods to minimize stress. Once captured, each cat is carefully taken to our clinic where they are spayed or neutered to prevent any further breeding. At the same time, the cats receive their vaccinations, including rabies and FVRCP vaccines, to protect both the cats and the community. Additionally, each cat is ear-tipped, a small painless removal of the tip of one ear to clearly identify the cat has already been through the program. After recovery, the cats are returned to the exact outdoor location where they were trapped, allowing them to live out their lives healthy and stable without contributing to population growth. This stops the breeding cycle right away. Populations stabilize and start to decline over time. The cats are healthier, they're vaccinated, and nuisance behaviors drop significantly. Cities across the country have seen great results, fewer cats, fewer complaints, and less strain on county resources. Now here in Norwood, our goal is simple, humanely to reduce the outdoor cat population and help neighbors live peacefully with these animals. We're starting with areas where the need is highest. All services are completely free. Spay or neuter, vaccinations, even transportation if needed. We're taking a community-led approach, meaning this program will work because it's powered by the people who live here. Residents can help in simple ways, reporting cats in their area, speaking to neighbors and passing out flyers, assisting with trapping, or giving a ride to and from the clinic. Even small actions make a big difference. The program launches this month. I've already trapped some around here. We're beginning with outreach and education because community participation is key to success. The more eyes and ears we have in neighborhoods, the faster we can identify where the cats are and get them into the program. We're excited to launch the Norwood Community Cat Project. Its success depends on community awareness and participation, and this is where you can help. Help spread the word. Share program details in your newsletters, on social media, during neighborhood meetings. Many residents are eager to help, but simply don't know the resources like this exist. Your voice lends credibility and helps us reach a wider audience. Encourage residents to take action. Ask your constituents to contact Ohio Alley Cat Resource when they see outdoor cats, whether friendly, ear-tipped, or unaltered. Each report helps us track colonies, prioritize trapping, and prevent future litters. By supporting these efforts, you help position Norwood as a leader in humane, effective, and fiscally responsible community cat management. Your involvement shows residents that the city is proactive in addressing animal welfare, public health, and the neighborhood concerns in a compassionate way. TNR is humane, it saves taxpayer dollars, and it creates cleaner, quieter neighborhoods. It's a proven method that addresses the root cause of the problem, not just the symptoms. If you or any of your residents would like more information, please reach out to me directly. Again, my name is Tanya Cook, Community Cat Program Coordinator with Ohio Alley Cat Resource. My phone number is 513-399-7933, and my email is tanya@ohioalleycat.org, T-O-N-Y-A, Tanya. We're excited to partner with Norwood residents, and with a strong community-led approach, we can make a lasting difference. I hope the City Council will join us in spreading the word and make this program a success.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next request to address council is Lily Dean.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Lily Dean. I'm a member of the Tree Board of Norwood, and I am here to talk about a new grant opportunity that we got earlier this year to do maintenance and inventory of our existing tree canopy and do planting of a ton more trees, to be determined number of new trees in canopy depleted areas of Norwood. So Norwood's name, Northwoods, is a reminder of what the city used to be, that it's not anymore. Shaded streets, thriving trees, cooler, healthier neighborhoods. A lot of that tree canopy has disappeared over the years, and we all feel the effects. Hotter summers, more stormwater runoff, fewer green spaces, lower property values, and higher energy costs. This grant gives us the chance to change all of that. We would map and assess every street tree in the city, address safety concerns of existing trees with help tree risk assessment, qualified arborist, and plant over 100 new trees that are specifically chosen to thrive in tough urban areas. These steps will mean cooler streets, cleaner air, stronger property values, and lower long-term infrastructure costs. Benefits that directly serve taxpayers make Norwood a more attractive place to live and work. The Ohio Valley Forestry Fellowship has offered to help bring the community into this effort through planting events and education, similar to Covington, Kentucky, if you're familiar with that program there, ensuring that the work we do now lasts for decades and gives the sense of ownership and community to our residents. I'm asking you all to support this grant so we can take full advantage of this amazing opportunity to restore the tree canopy and bring Norwood closer to living up to the promise of its name. This is an investment in our community's health, safety, and future prosperity, and it's one we really can't afford to just give up. And I know that it's up in the air whether we can accept the funding or not, and I don't pretend to understand the intricacies of municipal funding, but trees seem to be the most non-controversial, high return on investment way to improve any area, and I urge you all to support it in any way so that we are able to receive this incredible opportunity. Does anybody have questions, or am I allowed to ask that, or
You can ask.
should I give my email, or my email is lilysdean, LILYSDEAN @gmail.com. If anybody wants to talk to me about trees, I would love to. I'll talk to your ear off about it. But that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next request to address council to Audrey Brem.
Give my notes open here. Hello, my name is Audrey Brem. I've lived in Norwood for about a year and a half now, over at 2072 Elm Avenue. When I moved into my building, it was under the management of Vision and Beyond. And when I presented my walkthrough notes, I had some faith that the issues reported would be addressed, and they were not. When the building came under receivership in November of last year, my heat was completely non-functional. It was an emergency, and the phone line had been deactivated for V&B, so I couldn't get a hold of anyone. They just kind of disappeared. Now we're on our second receiver. We had Peak Properties in between, and now we have Prodigy. And there are a number of glaring issues with the building that I have no faith will be addressed without pressure from both Cincinnati Tenants Union and the municipalities where they manage properties. It's hard to get mail here. There is no external lighting, and when winter comes around, I'm afraid that I'll spend another week in sub-20-degree weather with no help. We'd like for the city to perform an inspection of our building for electrical, plumbing, and structural defects and pressure Prodigy Properties to perform necessary repairs. We would also ask that the city of Norwood apply some pressure to Prodigy Properties to negotiate leasing agreements with existing tenants. We're currently all month to month. V&B lost all of the leases in the switchover, and Prodigy does not have signed leases with us, and yet we're, still residents in the buildings. We believe this would be beneficial for all parties, since we're all month to month and it feels precarious. And I would like to stay where I am because I like Norwood. So, thank you.
Thank you. The next request to address council is Brian Christensen.
Good evening. My name is Brian Christensen, and I am a representative of the Cincinnati Tenants Union. You just listened to another member of the Tenants Union, someone who lives right across the street at 2070 Elm Street, Ward 1. The Cincinnati Tenants Union purpose is to help tenants build the power they need to get the housing they deserve. Housing that is quality, safe, and fair. And in the case of 2070 and 2072 Elm Street, the housing situation is neither quality, safe, or fair. I am here, like I said, with Audrey, who lives in an apartment that doesn't have good conditions. Like she said, the apartment was previously managed by a group called Vision and Beyond, a now defunct management company that abandoned their buildings along with 68 other buildings across Norwood, Cincinnati, and Laughlin all the way back in November. The two principal owners of that company fled the country due to outstanding fraud charges, leaving tenants with no tenant services during the coldest months of the year, going all the way up to February. There was peak properties for a very short period of time, but they were not very responsive to tenants. So fast forward to February of this year, and Prodigy Properties was deemed the court-appointed receiver of their building and the other 68 buildings formerly managed by Vision and Beyond. I won't speak about specific conditions of these apartments. The tenants can do that. Audrey just spoke to some of the conditions. What I will say is that in the 6-month period that Prodigy has been the Acton management group of their apartments, the conditions within individual units and the common areas have not improved in many cases and have actually worsened in some cases, despite the steady flow of rent money going to Prodigy that can be used to improve these conditions. We stand here before the council not for your sympathies, but because we want to see better conditions in these buildings. Just a couple months ago, tenants living in Prodigy managed apartment buildings in Cincinnati spoke at a Cincinnati City Council meeting, along with Bishop James, who's here with us today, about the issues that they have been dealing with and requested the city's help. After meeting with those tenants face-to-face, the mayor of Cincinnati agreed to city tenant coordinated building inspections for several buildings and funding to make repairs to their buildings where Prodigy refused to. We would also like to see building inspections at these buildings, 2070 Elm and 2072 Elm Street, and inspections that are coordinated between the city and the tenants, if possible. Because we believe that building inspections could serve to hold Prodigy accountable to their responsibilities as acting management of these buildings. Additionally, we are proposing that the city of Norwood places pressure on Prodigy to sit down and meet with their tenants and negotiate new leases. When Vision and Beyond abandoned their buildings, as Audrey noted, these tenants were left to live and rent month to month. And we believe it would be in the best interest of both Prodigy and the tenants to negotiate new leases. Thank you.
Thank you. And the last request to address council is Bishop Sonny James.
Good evening. First and foremost, let us share in a moment which we appreciate President Council acknowledging 2 of our committed residents have been called home. And it is important that we prioritize the business at hand. And anytime someone can declare that they love this fine community, the Word of God says that we're to give honor to whom honor is due. So I stand with those families to say that as a community we mourn together, but we celebrate the time that we certainly have shared together and all of the memories. Now, with that being said, I want to thank the representative and tenant from the Cincinnati Tenants Union. It's been a long fight. We've been in court. I've been in court with them at almost every court hearing. Being an advocate does not mean that I'm an attorney. I just have a habit, I guess, of working on both sides, some with attorneys and some against. Thank God I just stand on the side of victory at all of those occasions. But I do want to give credit to the city of Cincinnati, who heard our plea and heard our cry to where a sum of $400,000 was committed to the work at some of the buildings. I personally met with Jeff Lang of Prodigy, he and his council, and we've had wonderful conversations. And I believe that with Norwood stepping up to the plate, as I'm more than confident that we will do, to help address these issues. We will talk further about that, but you guys know me. So I'm really not asking, I'm saying we need to step up and we need to hear their cry and we need to help them. Last but not least, the city as a whole is facing many things, many trying things. I have to announce that you all know I've been a big advocate for Norwood and Norwood safety, and I still am. But in lieu of certain climates that have surfaced in the greater Cincinnati area, myself along with peers find it absolutely unavoidable to make certain challenges that obviously at some point could and would potentially include Norwood. Yes, I am leading the way in this effort, one of those, and I make no regrets, bless you. But I want to share with you all, as we move forward and as we continue to address tough issues, I want to encourage you to continue to come to the plate and work these issues out together. And when I have owners of businesses like Tweeties, Factory 52, I don't care if you're a top-notch developer in my community. I don't care if you're a grocery store chain in my community. We are willing to challenge whoever does not show the proper respect to each and every citizen. And in the next few days to come, you all will be seeing a strategy. And I pray that you will work with us to quickly address. And just because you guys don't always see the statistics, don't hop behind your computer to look for facts that you're not going to see on the streets. When I have staff members at our school calling me saying, Bishop, there's a former student chasing me down in the street of Norwood. And thank God a police officer pulled up. Those are stats that you're not going to find in your computer. But I'm here to tell you, I am willing to put my life on the line literally to make Norwood, Ohio, one of the safest, if not the safest community in all the land. But I need your help to do so. And as you see us coming forward, and as you see these challenges being made, we will not back down. We will not apologetically approach anything. It is time now that everyone treat each other with respect, just like many of us have come to see. And that is what each of you should show to be your posture as these challenges come forward. God bless Norwood. God bless each and every one of you. God bless the Cincinnati Tenants Union, which we will win. God bless Tweeties, which we will win. And I thank my peer Bishop Peterson Mingle for being with us. God bless you all. Peace.
Thank you. Moving on to second readings of ordinances and resolutions. We have an ordinance amending designated locations within the city of Norwood for the posting of ordinances, resolutions, statements, orders, proclamations, notices, and reports required by law. Mrs. Bowling.
I move that we have the second reading.
Motion by Mrs. Bowling to have the second reading of the ordinance. Mrs. Franzen.
I second.
Seconded by Mrs. Franzen. Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mrs. Franzen?
Yes.
Mrs. Hoover?
Yes.
Ms. Royce?
Yes.
Mrs. Bowling?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Gurdon?
Yes.
Mr. Braden?
Yes, ma'am.
All members present voting yes, the motion carries. Please have the second reading of the ordinance.
Ordinance amending designated locations within the city of Norwood for the posting of ordinances, resolutions, statements, orders, proclamations, notices, and reports required by law.
Thank you. And moving on to introductory readings of ordinances and resolutions. The first is an ordinance to change appropriations for the year 2025 and declaring an emergency. Mr. Gurdon.
Make a motion that we suspend the rules and have all three readings.
Motion by Mr. Garten to suspend the rules and have all three readings of the ordinance. Mrs. Bowling.
I'll second.
Seconded by Mrs. Bowling. Any discussion? Mr. Garten.
Could I ask, or could you ask the Safety Service Director to address a couple of questions?
Mr. Powers.
Good evening. Thank you. The question of Mr. Powers is, the appropriations I know are coming from the Tower Park plan to take down the water towers. Can you just address any concerns that citizens might have about why this is getting pushed off?
So the towers are structurally sound. There isn't an immediate need to bring the towers down. The continuing plan is to eventually bring those towers down, but right now we have some street projects that need some additional financial support. So this is shifting that over to get that priority done now. And then we will continue, like I said, continue to look at the water towers, and we will move that project forward.
That's all.
Thank you. Mr. Moore.
For Mr. Powers. It's not clear to me from the packet, and maybe I overlooked it. Do we know what specific streets are being serviced by this?
This is for Lincoln Avenue.
Okay. So the 330,000 is for the Lincoln Avenue project.
That's correct.
Any other questions for Mr. Powers or any other discussion? Thank you. The motion on the floor by Mr. Garten, seconded by Mrs. Bowling, is to suspend the rules and have all three readings of the ordinance. Call the roll, please.
Mrs. Franzen,
Yes.
Mrs. Hoover,
Yes.
Ms. Royce,
Yes.
Mrs. Bowling,
Yes.
Mr. Moore,
Yes.
Mr. Garten.
Yes.
Mr. Braden.
Yes, ma'am. All members present voting yes, the motion carries. Please have all three readings of the ordinance.
Ordinance to change appropriations for the year 2025 and declaring an emergency. Ordinance to change appropriations for the year 2025 and declaring an emergency. An ordinance to change appropriations for the year 2025 and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. Mr. Braden.
Thank you, Mr. President. Motion to pass the ordinance, please.
Motion by Mr. Braden to pass the ordinance. Mrs. Hoover.
I'll second.
Seconded by Mrs. Hoover. Any discussion? Mr. Moore.
I'm sorry, may I ask Mr. Powers to come back up?
Mr. Powers.
Got to get your steps in.
Every step helps, right?
So it sounds like, so to get to this 330,000, there's 150 from the Parks and Playgrounds, 30 from Public Lands and Buildings, 100 from the Community Center, and then 50 from the transit unassigned vehicle. I'm not sure. So I guess the question is, the Parks and Playground bit seems to have something to do with the Tower Park. Could you talk about, like, what sort of sacrifice are we making with regard to the community center and that 100,000 that's there, that's being moved out?
So the community center, that is basically pertinent to the boiler that's in the facility. The boiler is currently working. It will need to be replaced at some point. At this point, if we replaced it now, we would not get a boiler in until we needed a boiler. So the plan is to get through this winter with boiler that is in place and to replace it next year.
Okay. Okay, thank you. You're welcome.
Any further discussion? Motion by Mr. Braden, seconded by Mrs. Hoover, is to pass the ordinance. Call the roll, please.
Mrs. Franzen.
Yes.
Mrs. Hoover.
Yes.
Ms. Royce.
Yes.
Mrs. Bowling.
Yes.
Mr. Moore.
Yes.
Mr. Garten.
Yes.
Mr. Braden.
Yes, ma'am.
All members present voting yes, the motion carries. Next item is an ordinance accepting the recommendations of the Tax Incentive Review Council regarding Norwood tax incentives under various commercial CRA agreements and declaring an emergency. Mr. Garten.
Make a motion to suspend the rules and have all three readings.
Motion by Mr. Garten to suspend the rules and have all three readings of the ordinance. Mrs. Franzen.
I second.
Seconded by Mrs. Franzen. Any discussion? Mr. Moore.
Thank you. If I'm not mistaken, I was under the impression that we were hoping Catherine Fitzgerald might be here on the 26th to discuss this further, and that having all three readings was not advisable tonight. So I just want to call that out.
Mrs. Franzen?
Thank you for the reminder. As you were saying that, I remembered that email. So I think so that Catherine can be here to talk about it, I think the suggestion was to have 2 readings tonight and save the third for the next time, just in case someone isn't able to be here, so that we can still pass it in a judicious manner.
All right. Mr. Gerton,
I'd like to amend my motion to have the first 2 readings of the ordinance.
suspend the rules and have 2 readings of the ordinance. Mrs. Franzen, you will amend your second.
Yes, I will amend.
All right. Any further discussion? Mrs. Hoover?
Just for clarity, so at the next meeting, we're planning on going through this with a little more detail. Is that accurate?
Mrs. Franzen?
Yes, because Ms. Fitzgerald wasn't able to be here tonight, she wanted to be here in 2 weeks so we could talk about it in more detail and talk about why these recommendations are being made and the process. We've done this in the past. This is a yearly thing, but every year there's some differences, and there are some that are not being, at least one that's not being continued. So to get to know more details.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Motion on the floor by Mr. Gerton, seconded by Mrs. Franzen, is to suspend the rules and have 2 readings of the ordinance. Call the roll, please.
Mrs. Franzen?
Yes.
Mrs. Hoover?
Yes.
Ms. Royce?
Yes.
Mrs. Bowling?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Gerton?
Yes.
Mr. Braden?
Yes, ma'am.
All members present voting yes, the motion carries. Please have 2 readings of the ordinance.
Ordinance accepting the recommendations of the Tax Incentive Review Council regarding Norwood tax incentives under various commercial CRA agreements and declaring an emergency. Ordinance accepting the recommendations of the Tax Incentive Review Council regarding Norwood tax incentives under various commercial CRA agreements and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. Moving on to the next item. An ordinance adding new section 103.03 to the Norwood codified ordinances to be entitled Reproduction of the Official Seal and declaring an emergency. Mrs. Bowling.
I move that we suspend the rules and have all 3 readings.
Motion by Mrs. Bowling to suspend the rules and have all 3 readings of the ordinance. Mrs. Franzen.
I second.
Seconded by Mrs. Franzen. Any discussion? Ms. Royce.
Can I ask how, I know it was to prevent fraud or scams. Can I ask how this came about?
Mr. Moore.
Thank you, Mr. President. There's something was put out recently, and it had the city seal on it, and the fear, there's other people that have used the seal on different things, and it leaves the impression that it's the city's publication, that the city is making this statement when it's not. And so looking around, Cincinnati has basically, it's exactly the same language, just changing the names pretty much. And the idea is that we should just make the statement that, hey, listen, this is the city seal. If you're not the city, you shouldn't be using our logo in any way that could misrepresent something. And given the fact that I added in there, it's not something that has happened, but it's exactly the kind of thing that the way scammers are today, that you would get something in the mail that says, that has the city seal and says, oh, you need to write a check, or you need to go to a Bitcoin kiosk and transfer money, or we're going to shut your water off. But the idea is we just want to protect the seal. And I thought that I would draft this and put it in front of council and let everybody think about it.
Thank you. Ms. Royce.
This is me being a nerdy lawyer. Do we have like a description or exhibit that says what the seal is in the codified ordinances?
Mr. Moore.
Thank you, Mr. President. Yes, we do. Section 103.02 describes the seal. This on the sinister side.
I didn't Google it
and
on
this-
Saturday when I
yes.
reviewed, so thank you.
Mhm.
Any further discussion? Mr. Braden.
Well, thank you, Mr. President. So just to be clear, up until now, this was like the seal was like, what are we changing with this ordinance? Like it was a public domain, like someone said that up until now, the seal was a public domain and I guess anyone could use it. And now we're looking at it to where we are restricting that use. Can you give me a little more on that?
Mr. Moore.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm not necessarily sure you'd say it was public domain, but we didn't have anything in our code that said, don't use our seal. We just want to make that statement clear.
Thank you. Mrs. Franzen.
And for me, at least, the intent is just, like Mr. Moore said, someone trying to scam one of our elderly folks out of their money. This allows us to prosecute them for not only that scam, but also using our seal. It says that they're going against the ordinances. So, or maybe not prosecute, but I apologize, I'm not a lawyer, but it goes against the ordinances, essentially.
Thank you.
Mr.
Mrs. Bowling.
President?
Oh, Mr. Moore?
Just along those lines, yes, it does have a penalty in it, but really, as a practical matter, I think it is. Somebody puts something out, and it may be with the best of intentions. I want to, it may be the Alley Cat initiative, and they want to say, oh, for the people in Norwood, and put the seal on. We just want to be able to send them a letter saying, hey, stop it, because we don't allow that kind of thing. And sometimes it's not necessarily so. It's not necessarily so well-intentioned, but for those that are, we just want to we don't want people to be confused about communications they get and whether it's from the city or not.
Thank you. Mrs. Bowling.
Yeah, another good example of something that we've been coming up against lately a lot is the door-to-door energy company folks coming in and stating that they are city employees when they are not at all city employees. God forbid they show a badge or something that has a city logo on it that makes it look like they are official. So this just provides something tangible that says you are not allowed to do that. We don't want to give people like an inlet for fraud.
Mr. Moore.
And if I'm not mistaken, because Mr. Braden, I could imagine some use cases that, where it would be good if community adjacent organizations or events were able to put that seal on a flyer or an event or things like that. And there does seem to be a provision where at Mr. Powers or the Safety Service Director's discretion, they can say you are allowed to use this. So there are still some allowable use cases, it seems to me.
Any further discussion? All right, motion on the floor by Mrs. Bowling, seconded by Mrs. Franzen, is to suspend the rules and have all three readings of the ordinance. Call the roll, please.
Mrs. Franzen?
Yes.
Mrs. Hoover?
Yes.
Ms. Royce?
Yes.
Mrs. Bowling?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Gerton?
Yes.
Mr. Braden?
Yes, ma'am.
All members present voting yes, the motion carries. Please have all three readings of the ordinance.
Ordinance adding new section 103.03 to the Norwood Codified Ordinances to be entitled Reproduction of the Official Seal and Declaring an Emergency. Ordinance adding new section 103.03 to the Norwood Codified Ordinances to be entitled Reproduction of the Official Seal and Declaring an Emergency. Ordinance adding new section 103.03 to the Norwood Codified Ordinances to be entitled Reproduction of the Official Seal and Declaring an Emergency.
Thank you. Mrs. Franzen.
I move we pass the ordinance.
Motion by Mrs. Franzen to pass the ordinance. Mrs. Bowling.
I second.
Seconded by Mrs. Bowling. Any discussion? Mr. Braden.
Oh, thank you, Mr. President. I appreciate that. Yeah, so like, I don't know where I stand here. All these years, we've been doing it just fine, and now there's a reason why we have to put a restriction on it. I'm just kind of wondering why now. That's my statement. Thanks.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Motion on the floor by Mrs. Franzen, seconded by Mrs. Bowling, is to pass the ordinance. Call the roll, please.
Mrs. Franzen?
Yes.
Mrs. Hoover?
Yes.
Ms. Royce?
Yes.
Mrs. Bowling?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Gerton?
Yes.
Mr. Braden?
Sure.
All members present voting yes, the motion carries. Moving on to the next item. This is a resolution to participate in the National Opioid Litigation Settlement Agreement with Purdue Pharma LP and certain affiliates and declaring an emergency. Mrs. Franzen.
I move that we suspend the rules and have all three readings.
Motion by Mrs. Franzen to suspend the rules and have all three readings of the resolution. Mrs. Hoover.
I'll second.
Seconded by Mrs. Hoover. Any discussion? Mr. Moore.
Thank you. Mr. Moore, I think this might be for you, but it seems like the total pot of money that the state is going after is $130 million or something in that neighborhood. Is there any sense of like to what percentage? I'm guessing there's some kind of formula that Norwood might be allocated some amount of money there. And then any sense of like a lump sum or an installment? And then finally, is there any sort of guidance on like where those funds can go? Would they just be general funds, or just any consideration as far as like how that would be deposited into the city's coffers?
Mr. Moore?
Thank you, Mr. President. That was the case for all of the other ones. We've had 4 or 5 of these. And those were all presented as, here's the pot of money and here's how we'll divide up. And it's the city kind of basis depends on how many cities opt in within the state plan. This one is kind of different because this is to get a sense of numbers so that they can present it as part of the plan for the bankruptcy workout. And so this not only has to have enough people to sign on that they think it's worth settling, but also then has to be voted on by the creditors in the bankruptcy court and then approved by the bankruptcy court as a chunk that comes out of that. So those numbers are much, much fuzzier than they are for others. But the way that they have worked, and this one seems to, again, it's all sort of tentative at this point, but the idea would be that there would be payments made over time, and it would be distributed in a certain way, and it would be restricted in a certain way to in some way relate to opioids. And that some of them have, you can use it for current enforcement, you can use it to buy Narcan, you can use it for treatment programs. Some of them have been really, there's almost no restrictions. This one will likely have some restrictions in there. The money we bend, they're like $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 every 6 months for each individual one. I think we've gotten total over the past several years, maybe $90,000. I think that's a rough number that I think popped in my head from I don't know what. But this is still kind of, and I will say this, the alternative is that we don't approve this, we opt out and then file our own lawsuit. And the law department won't do that. So.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Motion on the floor by Mrs. Franzen, seconded by Mrs. Hoover, is to suspend the rules and have all 3 readings of the resolution. Call the roll, please.
Mrs. Franzen?
Yes.
Mrs. Hoover?
Yes.
Ms. Royce?
Yes.
Mrs. Bowling?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Gurdon?
Yes.
Mr. Braden?
Yes, ma'am.
All members present voting yes, the motion carries. Please have all 3 readings of the resolution.
Resolution to participate in the National Opioid Litigation Settlement Agreement with Purdue Pharma, LP, and certain affiliates and declaring an emergency. Resolution to participate in the National Opioid Litigation Settlement Agreement with Purdue Pharma, LP, and certain affiliates and declaring an emergency. Resolution to participate in the National Opioid Litigation Settlement Agreement with Purdue Pharma, LP, and certain affiliates and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. Mrs. Franzen.
I move that we pass the ordinance.
Motion by Mrs. Franzen to pass the resolution.
Yes, I move we pass the
I knew what you
resolution,
meant.
sorry.
Mr. Braden.
I'll second that.
Seconded by Mr. Braden. Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mrs. Franzen?
Yes.
Mrs. Hoover?
Yes.
Ms. Royce?
Yes.
Mrs. Bowling?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Gurdon?
Yes.
Mr. Braden?
Yes, ma'am.
All members present voting yes, the motion carries. Moving on to the next item. This is a resolution authorizing support and commitment to the Urban Forestry Grant Program and declaring an emergency. Mrs. Hoover.
I move that we suspend the rules and have all 3 readings.
Motion by Mrs. Hoover to suspend the rules and have all 3 readings of the resolution. Mrs. Bowling.
I'll second.
Seconded by Mrs. Bowling. Any discussion? Mrs. Hoover.
Just wanted to share, this is the grant that Ms. Dean was speaking about. We have to have authorization that we can apply for the funds and that we would be willing to accept them. Obviously, any project like this has a lot of hands involved. And Mr. Miracle is trying to find out if we would have the capacity to have that, to accept the funding because of our status in fiscal emergency. So this is not, as she said, this is not a done deal, but the grant is due August the 27th. So we need to have an agreement that we can accept the money if we can accept the money, if that makes sense.
Mrs. Franzen.
Yes, so I'm excited. I hope that this grant is selected for us and that we can accept the money also. For those of you who don't have the packet, this would be focusing specifically in right-of-ways in the public route along Glenside, Hunter, and Globe Avenues and associated right-of-ways near that to try to reduce the impact of the heat island effect that in the city, which is really bad in Ward 4, as many people have seen. So kind of adding some more younger trees to replace the canopy that's been lost. So it would be great to have this, and thank you. I applaud the tree board and Ms. Dean for seeking this opportunity out and making this available to us, whether we get it or not. It's great to know that we have people that are able and willing to help us with this.
Mr. Braden?
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm just curious if someone could tell me why we would be able to, maybe this is an easy question and I've missed it. Why would we be able to accept other grants and this grant, maybe we might not be able to accept? I'm just kind of curious about that. We accept grants, as far as I'm concerned, all the time, or not all the time, but, grants are accepted here and there. And why this one would we not be able to accept that? Just curious.
Mr. Miracle?
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. Braden, this is a reimbursable grant, so the funding would have to come from us, and then we would be reimbursed. And as you know, we're in fiscal emergency, so this has to be reviewed by the Auditor of State. So Mrs. Hoover and I met last Thursday, and she gave me a copy of the grant, which I did forward to the Auditor of State, and I've also reached out and spoken to her. So she's reviewing that as we speak, so hopefully we'll have some type of communication back in a timely manner that we could bring back to you and let you know what she says. So
Thank you,
it's a little more complicated, for sure.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Motion on the floor by Mrs. Hoover, seconded by Mrs. Bowling, is to suspend the rules and have all three readings of the resolution. Call the roll, please.
Mrs. Franzen?
Yes.
Mrs. Hoover?
Yes.
Ms. Royce?
Yes.
Mrs. Bowling?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Gerton?
Yes.
Mr. Braden?
Yes, ma'am.
All members present voting yes, the motion carries. Please have all three readings of the resolution.
A resolution authorizing support and commitment to the Urban Forestry Grant Program and declaring an emergency. A resolution authorizing support and commitment to the Urban Forestry Grant Program and declaring an emergency. A resolution authorizing support and commitment to the Urban Forestry Grant Program and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. Mrs. Hoover?
I move we pass the resolution.
Motion by Mrs. Hoover to pass the resolution. Ms. Royce?
I'll second.
Seconded by Ms. Royce. Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mrs. Franzen?
Yes.
Mrs. Hoover?
Yes.
Ms. Royce?
Yes.
Mrs. Bowling?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Gerton?
Yes.
Mr. Braden?
Yes, ma'am.
All members present voting yes, the motion carries. Moving on to the next item. This is an ordinance authorizing the Director of Public Safety Service to enter into a contract with Stryker Sales LLC to purchase medical equipment for the fire department and declaring an emergency. Mr. Garten.
Make a motion to suspend the rules and have all three readings?
Motion by Mr. Garten to suspend the rules and have all three readings of the ordinance. Mrs. Hoover.
I'll second.
Seconded by Mrs. Hoover. Any discussion? Mr. Garten.
I'm not for sure if this would be appropriate for Safety Service Director or the Chief, but first of all, I see that this money was planned to be spent. This is in our budget. I just don't have a cover sheet to ask why this is an emergency declaration.
Chief McCabe or Mr. Powers?
Good evening. It's asked for an emergency because, yes, it was approved back in, I guess the first iteration of the financial recovery plan, and so now we're in August. We do have some failing equipment that really needs to get replaced, and because of this elongated process, we need to move this in front of the commission as well because it is a debt instrument. So getting the passage from this council promptly would certainly expedite that process.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Thank you. Any further questions or discussion? All right. Thank you, Chief McCabe.
Thank you.
The current motion on the floor by Mr. Garten, seconded by Mrs. Hoover, is to suspend the rules and have all three readings of the ordinance. Call the roll, please.
Mrs. Franzen?
Yes.
Mrs. Hoover?
Yes.
Ms. Royce?
Yes.
Mrs. Bowling?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Girton?
Yes.
Mr. Braden?
Yes, ma'am.
All members present voting yes, the motion carries. Please have all three readings of the ordinance.
Ordinance approving the Director of Public Safety Service to enter into a contract with Stryker Sales LLC to purchase medical equipment for the fire department and declaring an emergency. Ordinance authorizing the Director of Public Safety Service to enter into a contract with Stryker Sales LLC to purchase medical equipment for the fire department and declaring an emergency. Ordinance authorizing the Director of Public Safety Service to enter into a contract with Stryker Sales LLC to purchase medical equipment for the fire department and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. Mrs. Hoover.
I move we pass the ordinance.
Motion by Mrs. Hoover to pass the ordinance. Mrs. Franzen.
I second.
Seconded by Mrs. Franzen. Any discussion? Mr. Moore.
Just as a procedural matter, is this, looking at the capital improvement projects for 2025, is this the EMS equipment lease? Is this how I'm collating this? Okay. All right. Thank you. Just wanted to cross-reference that relative to the FRP. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? All right, motion on the floor by Mrs. Hoover, seconded by Mrs. Franzen, is to pass the ordinance. Call the roll, please.
Mrs. Franzen?
Yes.
Mrs. Hoover?
Yes.
Ms. Royce?
Yes.
Mrs. Bowling?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Girton?
Yes.
Mr. Braden?
Yes, ma'am.
All members present voting yes, the motion carries. Moving on to the next item. This is an ordinance authorizing the Safety Service Director to enter into a natural gas aggregation agreement with AEP Energy, Inc., and declaring an emergency. Mrs. Franzen.
I move that we suspend the rules and have all three readings.
Motion by Mrs. Franzen to suspend the rules and have all three readings of the ordinance. Mrs. Hoover.
I'll second.
Seconded by Mrs. Hoover. Any discussion? Mrs. Franzen.
I wanted to invite the representative from AEP to come up and talk a little bit about the natural gas rates. I know electric rates have been a subject of much discussion.
Good evening, Council. Thanks for having me. Rich Surace with Energy Alliances. Before talking about natural gas, just want to make sure we actually have your logo on a page dedicated on our website for your aggregation. Are we okay to use that?
Yeah, they must like you.
Okay. I figured you have a link on your site to ours. I figured we're okay, but I
Only if
thought
they
I'd
don't
bring it
like
up.
you. They don't get to use it.
Again, thanks for having me. So we went, your aggregation program for natural gas does expire in October because you only have apparently one meeting during the summer. So that's why we're kind of at the rush now to do the emergency tonight. So we did go back out to bid, and in this case, AEP had come back, and right now the rates that are being offered is 60.6499. So we'll call it 65 cents. So that is an increase from where you are right now. But I think as you saw with your electric, which you had passed in the last couple of months, energy costs themselves are just significantly higher. All right. So even though we see the rate at, again, I'll round it up to 65 cents because it's easier. We're expecting that Duke's going to be somewhere around 70 cents this winter. I believe you have a memo that was shared as well to kind of see where, the price of gas is now and where we're looking into the winter. So as it has done for now many years, aggregation program offers your residents rate stability. It has done, pretty well over the last year because we've seen Duke go anywhere from 55 cents to $1.20 as it did this past spring. So this gives your residents a nice flat rate to have all the way through the winter. As always, no fee to enter the program, no fee to leave the program. They can leave anytime they want. They can opt out anytime they want. So again, this is a low to no risk proposition for people because they don't need to take it and they can leave anytime they want.
Thank you. Mr. Girton.
So it's my understanding that if we go with the aggregate, we can plan for what our winter bill should look like, given that our rate will stay the same.
That's correct. Yep. Like, so somebody, I guess in short, they could look at what was their annual usage and multiply it by 0.6499, and they would know that would be their supply cost for the year.
Thank you.
Mrs. Franzen.
Speaking to supply costs, I know that especially with the electric bill, supply cost versus generation cost has been a subject of much consternation amongst people, including myself. Do you have any idea of if the generation costs for natural gas will be increasing as well?
So the gas, the way that Duke does the gas pricing and the way that Duke does electric is two completely separate things.
Okay.
The way they do they're actually going to be moving towards a similar way to how for the gas as they're doing for the electric. That's also why we're only doing a 12-month term. Duke's going to completely change how they set their gas rates starting in April. So we have a sense on what that is. They've already made proposals with the state. It's not finalized just yet, but that's why we're doing 12. You have to do at least a 12-month term for an aggregation, but that's the reason why we're saying 12, because let's get everybody through the winter. Let's get Duke to settle out how they're going to do their rate structure for the summer and beyond, and then we'll kind of worry about your next program for next winter. We'll say it this time next year.
Thank you. Mr. Braden.
Thank you, Mr. President. Sir, I didn't catch your name. I'm kind of
Rich Surace.
Mr. Surace. Thank you, sir. So what do you say to, I'm all for, I'm supporting this tonight. I'd like to lock in our rates and be able to predict our bills for the next few months. What do you say to residents who aren't really on board, and they say they maybe get hidden fees or things like that, that they currently wouldn't get if they were just with Duke? What do you have any comments on that?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of misinformation, both for the electric and the gas, as far as the fees that are charged, how the bill changes. So I worked for Duke. At this point, I left there 12 years ago. I've had conversations multiple times with people who run the call center. And as people call our office with information about what Duke reps have told them, I've sent those over to the connections we have there. And Duke has admitted, that there have been reps that have given bad information. So on the electric side, we'll say, they said, oh yeah, if you're not with a third party, then you don't pay this part of the delivery rates. Well, for all of us, Duke is the distribution company and delivery company no matter what. Those rates don't change. They're set up by tariffs and by riders. So, I think there's a lot of misinformation. And right now, honestly, Duke is not helping. And we've tried to work closer with them and share actual calls. If we have numbers for the people, please go listen to this call so that they can work with their reps as well. But yeah, we deal with that a lot as far as what people think and what people who've done their homework to truly understand what's included, what's not included. And yeah, it's a constant struggle.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Mr. Moore.
Thank you for being here. To Mr. Braden's point, and I've been there before too, holding up bills, trying to understand what certainly you probably do this in a lot of different communities. Like, are there sort of like public education kinds of documents that you put out, or guides, or videos, or anything like that can just help people get better information about this?
Yeah, so we've done kind of bill copies, right? Even if they're just samples, right, to show what a bill looks like with or without being with a third party. Though we believe in the program, we've proven that it saves people money. And for the people who don't want to be in the program, then they should leave, right? And they shouldn't be in it. But yeah, we try to put those pieces together to give the education, so that at least if they don't want to be in the program, they make an educated choice about it.
Mr. Braden.
Thank you, Mr. President. But just to be clear to the people listening, we will vote on this and we will join the program. And if they don't want to be in the program, they must opt out, send a letter or whatever it takes to opt out. Just to be clear. Thank you.
That's correct.
Mrs. Franzen.
Yes, and yes, you're automatically opted in. You make it a letter saying that we have selected AEP in this case for our natural gas aggregator. I wanted to note that there is a website, energychoice.ohio.gov. If you feel that you can get a better rate, you're welcome to go there. There is a list of many providers. I just want to note that some of them are variable rates. So they may be very, very low at the beginning, but they can jump up. I would invite everyone to take a look, though, because it's your gas, it's your home. And I think this is a good deal. It evens it out. But I understand if people want to try and find a cheaper rate if they can.
And if you don't mind, a couple of things about Energy Choice Ohio. I actually live in a community that doesn't have a program. So I personally, when I shop, that's the only site that I'll use. I'll say, like you said, no termination fees, right? No monthly fees. You want to watch for the variable rates. And then even what AEP is offering right now, yes, there are some cheaper rates than AEP's rate. Not every supplier does aggregation programs. It's a completely different beast than doing that stuff. But as far as, what AEP has there, I believe the rate that we have with AEP bringing to you is actually lower than what they're offering right now by a little bit. So at least in that since, we're working with a supplier who is on there and actually able to get somebody a slightly better rate than what's on the apples to apples.
Mrs. Hoover.
Thank you. I wanted to also share that I had some people ask about why is it an opt-out rather than an opt-in? And it's my understanding that, well, we as a community voted on that many, many moons ago, and I can't remember when it was. I bet Mr. Gears would remember. No?
Mr.
So-
Bonzall might be able to
Bonzall?
remember.
I mean, the natural gas came before electric, but I mean, it was somewhere around 2010. I think.
So it was many, many years ago that Norwood as a community voted for this opt-out program. And that gives us access to a significantly lower rate.
Yeah,
So
no,
that's-
it's a long, we get that question a lot, right? So again, the way the Ohio code is written right now, the aggregations are opt-out programs, right? It was voted on by the majority of residents in the city. So, at this point, obviously, this council continues to go with what the voters had asked at that time. Another thing about that, people are like, well, why is it not opt-in? People don't opt in, right? The statistics from the Public Utilities Commission of Ohio, we're talking about a few percentage. If you look at how many people are switched in this across the entire state, how many people are in aggregation programs or how many people are on programs outside of aggregations, it's a very small number. It's overwhelming. It's confusing. You go out there, you look at those choices, you look at the electric, there's 155 offers out there. People don't know what to do. So yes, I understand why people may say, we don't like that it's an opt-out program, but for, in this case, the thousands of residents in the city that have taken advantage of the aggregations programs, you've saved them money and they had to do zero work to do it. And I think that's the key thing about the opt-out and why it's important and why it allows money to stay in the city limits, and they have to have no work to actually save that money.
Thank you. Mr. Gard.
Mr. Bonzall,
Yeah, I would like
to the
to-
president. Does Mr. Bonzall have a question?
Mr. Bonzall.
Thank you for your generosity, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. Gurdon. So as most people here know, aggregation is one of my favorite topics to talk about. And that's actually true, like genuine. I think this is a great program. I'm very blessed that Norwood voters have passed this. I was proud to sponsor the electric one when I first got on council, but the gas one was already here. So a couple questions here. One, is there a prohibition on AEP doing any door-to-door solicitation during this aggregation period?
So part of with the RFP we send out, yes, they do. We know that they don't do any door-to-door. And actually, out of any supplier we work with, they are probably the best as far as having not having conflicting offers. It doesn't mean somebody can't go out to AEP and find something, sure. but they will not market to your resident. They've been fantastic about any community we work with. And just so you know, the offer we have in front of you, there are 26 communities that have already signed that contract within the last month, and we 2 more passed tonight. So we expect it to be, I think, 32 total. We'll take the same contract with AEP because they have had tremendous customer service and things, not door to door, let's say.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. So we used to have years ago, every now and then council would get a report that would show collectively the amount, the thousands of dollars that residents saved because of the aggregation program. And I was just wondering if you all wouldn't mind putting something like that together again. And I'd love for council to get that if possible, Mr. Powers, but every year so that they can kind of have those numbers and publish them too. I mean, shoot, it was when I first got elected to council, like that report came out in 2016 potentially. It was like $700,000 or something that the citizens saved collectively being on natural gas aggregation. So I'd love to, if we could get that report, I'd love if those numbers are out there because it is a big deal. To residents that there are savvy residents out there and there are likely you probably could get a cheaper rate if you were on that Energy Choice Ohio website. The issue with the Energy Choice Ohio website though is that you've got to keep up on it. So when your rate expires, some of those, you basically go to a variable rate. And so I did it when I first moved to Norwood. And then after a couple of years, I think I just completely forgot about it and ignored it. And my electric rate was twice what the Duke cost to compare was for the electric generation because I had not gone, I didn't stay up on that Energy Choice website. So by doing the aggregation, again, as everybody's already said, you're allowing the city to handle that for you so that you don't have to worry about getting the best rate. The city is working with suppliers to get that locked in. So I think that's really important just to emphasize.
It happened to me this past month. I thought I expired in August. I actually expired in July.
Yeah,
So-
yeah. And so, yeah, and then the other part is, I think that just to remind us on what happened with the electric aggregation. So very intelligent, if y'all remember, but our contract was expiring like in June or May, and the rates were relatively high. We didn't see, the rates, but y'all were just telling us, hey, it's better to wait a month and then we'll look at what's going on. That waiting a month, our electric rate, like Cincinnati had the exact contract coming up at the exact time pretty much that ours was. They decided to renew at that time. They're paying over 10% higher for the generation charge than what we were. Just in that 1 month wait, we saved 10% of the cost for the supplier part of the thing that we would have paid. So I'll just say very kudos to you, Mr. Powers, kudos to you, Mr. Mayor, for waiting on that because, I mean, it saved us money. Instead, we could have just said, you know what, we're just going to sign. That's the best rate that's there. So, I appreciate that you're coming with us and that with this recommendation because, I mean, obviously your recommendations have proven in the past to be good. So I just wanted to tell you kudos there and appreciate that. So,
Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion or questions?
Your organization is called Energy Alliance.
That's correct.
Which we've been working with for years and years. And you guys have typically shot us straight. So it's been a very worthwhile and productive relationship that started years ago. And we're glad, like James said, we're glad to have you guys helping us. We've got a lot of really good people working with the city, saving the city residents money and moving us in the right direction. So thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Mr. Moore.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just as a matter, I'm happy with the proceedings and what I've learned and all of that with regard to Energy Alliance. But I think just in general, with regard to this and the previous agenda item, I would just again ask that as much time as we can possibly have lead time on these before receiving them would be appreciated, especially in the context of having all three readings being requested with them. So just another plug that I know the council as a whole has in the past talked about having more time, not wanting to do all three readings. And I think just the earlier we can get these things, the better. So thank you to everyone who can make that possible.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Motion on the floor by Mrs. Franzen, seconded by Mrs. Hoover, is to suspend the rules and have all three readings of the ordinance. Call the roll, please.
Mrs. Franzen?
Yes.
Mrs. Hoover?
Yes.
Ms. Royce?
Yes.
Mrs. Bowling?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Girton?
Yes.
Mr. Braden?
Yes, ma'am.
All members present voting yes, the motion carries. Please have all three readings of the ordinance.
Ordinance authorizing the Safety Service Director to enter into a natural gas aggregation agreement with AEP Energy, Inc. and declaring an emergency. Ordinance authorizing the Safety Service Director to enter into a natural gas aggregation agreement with AEP Energy, Inc. and declaring an emergency. Ordinance authorizing the Safety Service Director to enter into a natural gas aggregation agreement with AEP Energy, Inc. and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. Mrs. Franzen.
I move we pass the ordinance.
Motion by Mrs. Franzen to pass the ordinance. Mrs. Bowling.
I'll second.
Seconded by Mrs. Bowling. Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mrs. Franzen?
Yes.
Mrs. Hoover?
Yes.
Ms. Royce?
Yes.
Mrs. Bowling?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Girton?
Yes.
Mr. Braden?
Yes, ma'am.
All members present voting yes, the motion carries. Moving on to administration reports. Mayor Schneider. I was looking.
I'd like to start out, and I'm glad that the president of council brought up the passing of Mayor Tom Williams. And Tom Williams and I had an adversarial relationship at times. When I was sitting on council, even prior to that time, there were things that we had to agree to disagree upon. But Tom Williams, as was stated, was always for the city of Norwood. And when he stepped down, you know, I'd like to say I beat him in election and became the mayor, but I didn't beat him. He stepped down. He was finished. He'd spent a lifetime committed to this community and really to the country and to the nation. I mean, he was American, you know, through and through, and raised his family and just really a pillar of the community. So when I've heard of his passing, you know, it really took a minute for myself to even say a prayer for the gentleman who had spent so much time and he had such fond stories about growing up in Norwood and being around Norwood. and high school and all of that, but I don't think it would be disrespectful for me as the sitting mayor right now not to recognize all the great things that Tom Williams did for this community and for his country. So thank you, Tom Williams, for all you've done. Talking about July, and we had the banner up in front of City Hall just before July, beautify the city, clean up, paint up and all that. And people took advantage of that. I looked at the flowers that were planted during that time out in front of City Hall, and they're thriving and doing very well. And I'll thank Robert for keeping them watered and keeping everything looking good out there. But it's good that we did that, because if you blinked in July, it was already gone. And I feel like I blinked because, we had the 4th of July, which was the best fireworks show we've had in years, and absolutely phenomenal weather for it. So then we had swim championships with, I think it was 5 to 7, maybe 7,000 people here, maybe more. And they just did a phenomenal job. The recreation department and the group did a phenomenal job with putting on the swim championships, bringing so many people from around the county, around, our area into the city, and making the city of Norwood look so good. They ran it so well. And then the parade was such a phenomenal event. The first time we've had the parade on a Friday night, right? First time we had a new parade route, which actually worked out okay. I know I was really disappointed when they said Montgomery Road would be a mess and we wouldn't be able to get it. But they came up with the solution. Noah and the group put together a team and came up with the solution, and the parade route worked out very well. I think everybody was happy with that. We had the car show, about 40 cars in the car show on that Saturday. That was a great event also, just sort of thrown together by Tim Riley, who's a retired firefighter. It was his brainchild, and he just put together a great car show. It was so fun to see all the cars that were there from the city of Norwood that are sitting in garages around our community that people pulled out and shined up, cleaned up, and so that was fun. And then the Norwood Day event, Norwood Day down at Waterworks, was a pretty good event. It had some challenges with rain, but it had a great band, and it brought some people together, and there was a good area that, making that transition from being at a place like Coney Island for 115 years or 120, however many years they've been doing it, changing that to Waterworks and keeping it here. I think it'll grow, and it's such an incredible group that puts that on with the Norwood business and professional women. So that was great. And then for me personally, and I think for most Norwoodians that have been here a long time, the Holy Trinity Festival, the 3 days, and it is a reunion, and I see friends and families and people. Clearly, they're not Catholic. They're just up there to see friends and the camaraderie and the companionship. It's so good to have events like that in the city of Norwood. Right after that, the weekend after that, I had a big wedding. My son got married, so July went flying past. So we talk about the Montgomery Road pedestrian improvement project, and that's what's going on right out here. And there's multiple funding sources for that. You guys made some changes, right? And the challenge with these grants is that some of them are you have to spend your money first, and then they'll reimburse you. But we're in a fiscal emergency, and we're putting together a budget, and we're locked into that budget. So we've got to figure out ways to get money to take advantage of some of these grants. So the pedestrian improvement project is $2 million. And we had to allocate that $2 million that we know we've always said through the last 5 years of my administration, we've said we're going to leverage our funds as much as we can. We will go for grants, just like this tree grant. We'll try to get that tree grant. But you still have to put the money out in front. So when you talk about a tree grant, and I have not seen all the monies, but let's just say it's a $100,000 tree grant. That's great. We want $100,000 in our community. But somewhere along the line, we have to lock $100,000 away and spend that on trees to get the money back in. And we're in a position right now where we're spending a ton of money on streets, on improvements that we have all heard. Every one of us as candidates have walked on porches and said, people said, fix the streets. So now when we say we're going to take $100,000 off of the streets and we're going to put it towards trees, we've got to be able to really justify that to community members when we do that. I'm all for trees. I've got trees in my yard. I've planted Arbor Day trees. I've been a member of the Arbor for years. But when you talk about cities, the city's money and what we're trying to do, infrastructure improvements, water main improvements, bridges, all that stuff, it's so hard. And I know Noah and I had a discussion about this today. Are we able to get $100,000 out of our budget and put it towards trees in a certain area of the community? Or should we be using that $100,000 to leverage to get $250,000 to rehab a street and curbs and sidewalks and the water mains and get rid of lead lines? So there are decisions that have to be made. And I know the decision, like you said, there's many different ways that this goes forward. I'm not saying I'm dead set against it, but I'm saying I'm cautiously optimistic that we could spare money in that way at this time and get the Financial Recovery Commission to actually, back it and go forward with it. So it'll be interesting as we go forward. The fire department upgrades it's great. The chief has pushed to get things and keep things going, and we've allocated money for that. So those are big parts of it. And then I know we've got a letter, and typically when we do the appointment letters, they just basically read off the names of the people and say, we agree, because you know them. But Kate and Debbie are sitting in the audience, and I appreciate these are two members that are going to go on to the tree board to work with Lily Dean, who's been a great addition to the tree board. And we've got two others, Donna and Renee, that have been on it for years. So we'll have a good working tree board. And as you can see going up and down Montgomery Road, there are some trees that are being removed right now. And I hate to see that. I hate to see some of those trees taken down. Some of those trees are planted by community members through the years, and they've watched it and they've nurtured them, and now they get removed, and it hurts your heart a little bit. But there's a metamorphosis happening, and we'll see. And I think the tree board will be instrumental. Having a good tree board will be instrumental working to get our Montgomery Road looking just as beautiful as can be. So I appreciate you two being there and volunteering to take on that endeavor. It's a big one. And I'm impressed that Tanya Cook was here to talk a little bit about the cats, because there's probably 5 or 6 homes around Norwood that we have cat colonies that need some ears clipped and some work done to fix some of that stuff, because I hear about them a lot, So it's good that Tanya Cook was here, and I'm sure we'll get that on the website and get some information going so that that's a resource. That's a resource the city can use to help some community members with challenges they have with community cats, not feral cats, community cats, like not a basement, it's the lower level of City Hall, right? But, okay, that's all I had. I'm sorry, I'm rambling.
All right. Any questions for Mayor Schneider? I did have one. It may be a kind of a request. Mayor Williams' funeral is scheduled for August 22nd. If we could have flags at half-staff on city properties for that day.
We can do that.
Thank you. Mrs. Hoover.
Do we have a time for the funeral?
I believe one moment. Visitation is taking place at Holy Trinity Church. That is Friday, August the 22nd, from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. And then there is a funeral mass that will begin at 11 a.m.
Thank you.
Welcome. Mr. Bonzo.
Thank you, Mr. President. I did want to just acknowledge, Mayor Williams' passing. I served as on council for 4 years while he was mayor. And I didn't agree with everything, of course, that he did. He didn't agree with everything that I did. But you never could question that the intent of the actions that he did take was always for what he thought the benefit of Norwood was and what he thought the best for Norwood was. And that, as you know, Mr. Mayor, was not always the case with past mayors. It was at least a couple that there were some other issues with. So when it comes to that, being honest, being a person that truly put Norwood first, he did the best that he could. So kudos to him. And, if you all haven't met his wife, Mary Ann, just one of the nicest people you'll ever meet. And, I just hate that for her, and hope she feels comfort in his legacy. So one of the things I did want to talk to you all about, though, is earnings taxes. So, and kind of give you all a report. I'll forward you this report when we're done with this meeting. But just kind of give it, it's a mid-year plus 1 month kind of summary about where we are with earnings taxes compared to last year. So the big number, last year we were at $13,873,000. This year we're at $14,734,000. So that's a 6.2% increase. For withholdings, which is our biggest, and again, I will send you these after the meeting or before. But with withholding, we had $10,104,000. That is a 2.4% increase from last year. And withholdings, it was for the first 7 months, 69% of the receipts that we had. For net profit tax, so this is where we tax businesses on the profits that they generate from their operations in Norwood. That was 22% of the total, and it's $3,179,000. And these are all rounded to the nearest thousand just for today's purposes. That was up 17% from last year. And you'll probably have heard me say, I say this every year, the net profits is the most volatile of all the taxes that we receive, just because there's so many things that go into what generates profit for a business. So, it's a blessing that it's up 17% from last year, but it could just as much be down 10% from last year too, if, certain businesses went a certain way. And then individual, that's 10%. That is up, that's $1,450,000. That's up 12.3% from last year. So overall, I'd just say the state of our, just the income, the earnings tax that gets collected, it's a really good place. Again, 6.2% higher. I also went through and looked at the first 7 months from my first year, 2022, and just kind of went and looked at the comparison. So I'll just give you the percentages. I won't give you all the numbers, but for individual, we are up 36% from where we were just from my first term. So that's the first 7 months of 2022, our first year. Net profit 32% and withholding 19%. And then that's a total increase of 23%. Now, I would love just to say, guys, you're welcome. But, that's of course not, that is not all while I will say there's some work in the treasurer's office and the earnings tax office and the great staff that we have there. And it's really just a testament to the work that all of us have done to make this a really friendly place to live, to work and to be. It is, the city of Norwood is becoming a really great place to work as well. And we're really trying to attract and retain staff. In that regard, we're just super appreciative of Lori, with her help there. And I think all of you all that get to interact with Lori, it's always a great experience for us that are still here. And then for those that aren't, So anyways, long story short, I just wanted to let you know the state of our city, we're doing well. So we do have money, that's all great. We talk about having to juggle dollars around. I mean, it's unfortunate that we are still in a fiscal emergency. We are, but at the very beginning of the year for our general fund, we had a nearly $17 million cash balance. That's about, a little bit over 2/3 of what we would need to operate in a year if we just received no income the first 2/3 of the year. I mean, financially, the city is in a very healthy place. Even though you're seeing all of these projects happen, you're seeing these expenses happen, improvements, upgrades, what have you. And I hear people from the community all the time talk about how the city's just spending money left and right. Well, you know what? We're also earning extra money too. We're bringing in additional dollars too. And it's, the city's still in a very, very healthy position. So, that goes to just a lot of the austerity that happened, my first couple terms on council and just some of the investments that were made. But, again, just wanted to emphasize the state of the city. We're doing well this year when it comes to earnings tax receipts. We are, in the budget, again, is doing well as well. So, I'm proud to be here. I'm glad to be here. I think you all have done a great job and look forward to continuing to work with you all.
Thank you. Any questions for Mr. Bonzel? Mr. Moore?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Bonsall, and nice report and good work. With regard to the surplus and how, I guess my question is, how should we think about that surplus as it pertains to the FRP for 2026 and revisions and kind of adding that in there? How does that work? And if you could just comment on that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mr. Bonzo.
Thank you, Mr. President. So, yeah, so I think we estimated I think about a 1% increase from last year. Again, it's really hard. It's really hard when we keep every year setting these record years. I mean, it's like you can't just project that we're going to have 5% increases, every year just because we've had, 5 to 6% increases the last 3 years. So what we'll do is, I think we did 2% increases every year in the current plan, and even Anna Mary gave us a little bit of lip on that one. But what we'll do is we'll likely keep continuing that 2% increase, but we'll readjust the baseline to be approximately where we were when we end this year. So essentially, that'll be about 4 year, so if that increase ends up being, I talked to Tax Commissioner Tim Wagers, he thinks it's going to be about $1 million over at the end of the year. He thinks we're going to kind of hold that $1 million increased dollar amount, which is where we are now, will be steady the rest of the year. That's basically an extra $1 million that'll be, or approximately about $1 million. Those next 4 years, that will be as an increase over what we thought it would be when we did this year's plan. So essentially, it will mean that there will be some extra dollars could be found for capital projects or other items.
Mayor Snyder.
Now, I think to your question of that $17 million, there gets to a point where the administration can only do so much. So we have a 5-year plan, our FRP, our financial recovery plan, is a 5-year plan. And through each year for the last few years, we've budgeted more money than we, the administration, have been able to get out there. So that money continues to somewhat grow. But in that 5-year plan, it's drawing down. And each year, the Financial Recovery Commission members say, wait a minute, you're running out of money. You're going to run out of money after 5 years. But we allocate so much for this year, but it doesn't get allocated until March or April. And then the administration has a short amount of time. And then if something is super high, we're not spending that money. Some of the stuff goes up. We're not spending that money. So then it rolls over to the next year. So that $17 million carryover is there, but we've still been playing a lot of catch up, a lot of getting our streets back in shape, a lot of infrastructure improvements, things that take time, and it's going to take time to work down through that. I think that we will continue to have a large carryover, and we'll continue to work on it through the next 5-year plan and through the 5-year plan that's in 2026, 2027, and all that. So it's not like we can take that $17 million and just say, spend it all on streets, because you can't do it. We just can't. You cannot realistically do that. So it's just going to take years. It's great to have that cushion. It's great to be able to say we're doing well, but it's going to take time to make all the improvements that have to be made. And there's some strict constraints with this Financial Recovery Commission, and the Financial Recovery Plan. You can't just say, let's spend an extra $1 million, because it don't work that way.
Were you asking about the surplus when you talk about the bank account balance, or were you talking about the additional over last year for the earnings tax?
Yeah, I guess the question has to do with, at this point, how does that additional $1 million get added to the 2026 budget and consequently, revise that plan for expenditures and incremental projects, things like that. That was the nature of the question.
Great. Okay, perfect.
Any other questions for Mr. Bonzo? All right, Mr. Miracle.
Thank you, Mr. President. I too would like to offer my condolences to Mayor Williams' family and thank him for his long and distinguished career and service to the city of Norwood and to our nation. I have a few things I'd like to share this evening. First of all, late this afternoon, I spoke with Software Solutions, and Noah Powers, a safety service director, and I have been working with them. We're going to be doing some training. We're going to be doing some training on the VIP analytics. And so starting this Thursday, we will have access for 90 days for training. It's a self-guided training through one of their modules. It's the learning management system for VIP. So that's exciting. And as we move forward to use the system that we're paying for, right? So be more on that in the next few days. Hopefully by the end of the week we'll get something out about that. I'm happy to report that the Ohio History Connection, State Archives of Ohio Local Government Records Program, has approved our records retention schedule, RC2 for Part 1 and Part 2. And as you know, I've talked about that in previous meetings, so that's been a few months in the works. So now that we have the approval, that we can start to go through the records that we have and dispose of them properly. And then finally, Monday.com. I have forwarded the contract to Mr. Gary just late this afternoon. I asked him for his review, and once Mr. Gary has approved that, we're going to go ahead with that, or his approval, and so that is something that I'd like to have in place by our next meeting. So, so you will all be involved in that heavily. So, so that's exciting as well. And I think I had mentioned to you that Mr. Moore uses that as his current employment. So, looking forward to that as well. That's all I had, Mr. President.
Thank you. Any questions for Mr. Miracle? All right, Mr. Moore.
Thank you, Mr. President. As far as the law department, we got plenty to talk about in executive session coming up, but I did want to mention, I spent so much of my time in Norwood working with Tom Williams on council and his law director and on the planning commission and zoning board when I was on those. There's just too much. Some of my best stories come from him. Some of the best things I've learned came from him. Some of my biggest arguments have been with him. And it's a sad thing. It's a completely, we move into a completely different era without Tom. And I really am going to miss him. So, thanks.
Thank you. So we currently have no living former elected mayors. No, I mean, don't go anywhere. Really? I mean, I don't know the last time that has happened in Norwood history, but that was a interesting fact that I was dwelling on.
Not cool.
Earlier. No pressure.
Not cool. You can't ever retire. You can't keep running.
Hydrate. Take care of yourself.
All right. Moving on to unfinished business. Unfinished business. I should have moved on. Mrs. Hoover.
I'm going to be so brief. No, I do have one audio visual this evening, and I'm really excited about this. I had, you're welcome, Ms. Bowling. I had a resident reach out and said, hey, you guys really want to increase responses to your community survey, make yard signs. So there are now 10 yard signs scattered throughout Norwood. We've already gotten quite a bit of response. So if you see it, thank you. We're going to try to move them around so we get a nice variety. If you would like to host one in your high foot traffic area, please reach out to me and I can deliver it. Sweet. Although there is one not too far from you. A little bit down the street, same side of the street, but maybe, but thank you for the offer. So we're still looking for more responses. Yeah. That's really all I have.
All right. Mrs. Bowling.
I'd just like to note that though they are yard signs, Mrs. Hoover did carry that around for all of Off Pike Market most recently. So it could be a corner sign, could be someone can start flipping them, really get people's attention.
All right. Any other unfinished business? Moving on to new business. Mrs. Franklin.
Yes, I just wanted to call out my friend and woman about town, Laura Sullivan. She almost single-handedly coordinated a really fun event wherein the first official dog mayor of Norwood was elected by a vote of the people and also by donations. His name is Mac. He is a poodle. You will see him probably at other community events, including the 5K. He takes his duties very seriously. We also elected a vice mayor in case he is not able to perform his duties, and Judge Berkowitz was kind enough to swear the dog mayor in. So because of this, $2,500 was raised for Off-Pike Market and Music on Mills, and $500 plus over 1,000 pounds of dog food was raised for Cincinnati Cares. So thank you to Laura, and thank you to all the people that attended, pet the dogs, entered their dogs in. We had a lot. There were 20 candidates. A lot of great dogs were pet, and it was a lovely day.
Mrs. Bowling.
It seems like all I have to contribute tonight is silly nonsense. If you are more a cat person, you can look forward to the first, hopefully annual Norwood Catwalk, which I am scheming with the lovely Laura Sullivan to plan in the upcoming months. Don't feel left out.
Any other new business? Ms. Royce.
Mine's not as fun. Can I schedule a law ordinance?
Sure.
I'd like to do it like next 3 or 4 weeks. Are people available maybe the 20, wait, this is finance committee. I always say that. The 28th maybe?
You said the 28th?
It's a Thursday? You busy?
I am almost never available on a Thursday, unless it's in the morning.
That makes sense. Our Thursdays are usually free. I don't want to say September 2nd, because that's the day after Labor Day, but if you guys aren't around.
We have committee of the whole that evening.
Oh, that's
Would
true.
you want
Sorry.
to do it?
Sorry, past my years.
You do it before?
We could do it before.
Front of it?
Committee of the whole. I could do that.
Like at 5:30?
5:30? Is that tomorrow? Okay. All right. 5:30 on the 2nd. I'll send out your agenda.
Mr. Braden, we had your.
Oh, yes. Thank you, Mr. President. I just wanted to, before I start, I'm trying to think of our IT's guy's name because I want to include him in this. What's our IT?
TA.
Or Jerry?
No, former police officer.
TA Brown.
Yes, yeah, TA Brown. TA Brown, exactly. So I wanted to share my story about Tom Williams. And, you know, some of you guys don't know, my dad left when I was 3 years old. My mother and father split up. He moved on and, you know, got his own family and kind of left me here in Norwood and run streets. My mom did her best. She was a great mom. God rest her soul. So I ran the streets a little bit and you know, had some run-ins. And, you know, Mr. Williams was a beat officer at the time. Mr. Brown, was working at the time. And, you know, it was a hard time for me. I was just really a troubled youth, really. And our police officers in Norwood, they were so great. You know, they would catch you doing things and, you know, they could easily send you downtown, but they would bring you in and they would call your mom and your mom could come get you and things like that. So as I was drawing male figures in my life, because without a father, you know, Tom was one of those, Mr. Williams was one of those people that I draw, you know, knowledge from. You know, Mr. Brown, they run around, they were figures they were authority figures, something that I was missing. And, you know, I guess a long story short, you know, one of my proudest moments on this council here when I was elected, you know, you don't know, you think you're past and you know, I'm elected now and I'm trying to live my life as an adult. And Mr. Williams, you know, you didn't ever know how he thought about me because, you know, I was a troublemaking youth. But he told somebody, he told a stranger, I talked to somebody and it was an election season. And I guess I struck a nerve with him and he told somebody that, you know, hey, the only person that deserves to be elected is Mr. Braden. And it was one of those things that hit me, that he said that. And I'm very proud of that. And I just want to share that story and where he's going to be missed. Thank you.
Any other new business? Mr. Moore.
Thank you, Mr. President. I don't believe this has been before council before, but I was contacted by a resident who seems to have had some contact with the city regarding a down tree at 3766 Floral. And I would just ask, I'm not sure if it's a Clint thing or a Mr. Powers thing, had to do with a down tree and a line in the tree lawn. So to the extent The resident lives at 3768, but the down tree was at 3766. And so just to the extent that I could ask for follow-up on that as appropriate, it seems like it was back maybe in the spring when that incident happened. He was looking for some additional follow-up. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Mr. Garden.
For what it's worth to Mr. Moore, we do have a claim that we need to talk about in our next Finance Committee meeting about that, Mr. Quinn.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other new business? All right, then we are on to our list of communications. First item is a letter from Mayor Victor Schneider regarding the tree board appointment letter.
Members of City Council, I request council approval for the appointments listed below to the Norwood Tree Board. Please confirm appointment for the terms described to new members Kate Wetzel and Debbie Carly. So Ms. Kate Wetzel, appointment effective immediately and ending 12/31/2027. Ms. Debbie Curley, appointment effective immediately and ending 12/31/2027. Ms. Wetzel is a homeowner in the city of Norwood and will be a great addition to the board. She's enthusiastic about trees, beautification, and green spaces. She participated in the Norwood Parks project in 2020 and wants to collaborate with our community by accepting a position with our tree board. Ms. Carter moved to Norwood in 1991. She graduated from the University of Cincinnati with a bachelor's degree in construction management, and managed commercial, medical, educational, and historic preservation projects. Many of her renovation projects included protecting the existing landscape, including trees, and over the course of her career has gained vast knowledge of trees and how they are important to our neighborhoods and parks. She's volunteered at multiple Norwood garden projects and will be a great appointment for our tree board. Sincerely, Victor Schneider.
Thank you. Mrs. Hoover.
I'd like to receive and file, I make a motion to receive and file the letter and make the appointments.
And approve the appointments.
Approve the appointments. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there a second? Mr. Garden.
I second the motion.
Seconded by Mr. Garden. Any discussion? Mrs. Hoover.
I just want to thank these lovely folks for offering to volunteer their time. They're both very, very excited and have a lot of wisdom and energy. And I'm really looking forward to what they can bring to our city. So thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? All right, motion on the floor by Mrs. Hoover, seconded by Mr. Garden, is to receive and file the letter and approve the appointment of Kate Wetzel and Debbie Carly to the tree board. Call the roll, please.
Mrs. Franzen?
Yes.
Mrs. Hoover?
Yes.
Ms. Royce?
Yes.
Bowling?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Burton?
Yes.
Mr. Braden?
Yes, ma'am.
All members present voting yes, the motion carries.
Thanks for staying.
Next item is a letter from Mayor Victor Schneider regarding June Mayor's Court fines.
Dear Mr. President and council members, enclosed, please find the report for Norwood Mayor's Court for the month of June 2025. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact me. Sincerely, Victor Schneider, Mayor.
Thank you. Mrs. Franzen.
I move we receive and file the letter.
Motion by Mrs. Franzen to receive and file the letter. Mrs. Bowling.
I second.
Seconded by Mrs. Bowling. Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mrs. Franzen?
Yes.
Mrs. Hoover?
Yes.
Ms. Royce?
Yes.
Mrs. Bowling?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Burton?
Yes.
Mr. Braden?
Yes, ma'am.
All members present voting yes, the motion carries. Next communication is from Mike Skelly, Community Development Director, regarding pending pavement condition rating PCR study. Mrs. Franzen.
I want to make a motion that we receive and file the letter as if read.
Motion by Mrs. Franzen to receive and file the letter as if read. Is there Mrs. Bowling?
I'll second.
Seconded by Mrs. Bowling. Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mrs. Franzen?
Yes.
Mrs. Hoover?
Yes.
Ms. Royce?
Yes.
Mrs. Bowling?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Burton?
Yes.
Mr. Braden?
Yes, ma'am.
All members present voting yes, the motion carries. Next item, actually, well, yeah. Put them in the wrong order. Next item is a letter from Keith Moore, Law Director, regarding a request for executive session.
Dear President and members of council, I'm requesting that the council go into executive session at your meeting on August 12th, 2025 to discuss disputes that are the subject of pending or imminent court action. Please place this item at the end of the agenda. Sincerely, Keith Moore.
Mrs. Bowling.
I would like to make a motion that we receive and file and go into executive session for the stated reason after the reading of the next agenda item. That's complicated. Receive and file. I want to make clear that I would like for us to go into executive session, but we have another item to read.
So motion just to receive and file the letter.
Yes.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Yeah.
Mrs. Hoover.
I'll second.
Seconded by Mrs. Hoover. Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mrs. Franzen?
Yes.
Mrs. Hoover?
Yes.
Ms. Royce?
Yes.
Mrs. Bowling?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Gertman?
Yes.
Mr. Braden?
Yes, ma'am.
All members present voting yes, the motion carries. Next item is a letter from Lori Zombak, HR Director, regarding a request for executive session.
Dear Council, Mr. President, and members of City Council, I respectfully request a closed executive session during your August 12, 2025 council meeting to discuss a personnel-related matter. If possible, please schedule the session at the conclusion of the meeting agenda. Thank you for your consideration. Lori Zombak.
Thank you. Mrs. Bowling.
Now I would like to make a motion that we receive and file the communication and enter executive session for both reasons stated.
Is there a second?
For the, do you want to make sure though that the language is what you need? So for the personnel matter, is it for bargaining? Is it a bargaining reason? Yeah, so the language would be, and maybe you can note this down for the minutes, but preparing for, conducting, or reviewing negotiations or bargaining sessions with public employees concerning their compensation or other terms and conditions of their employment. So.
Yeah, just note that down.
Exactly. There you go.
As stated.
We'll get it.
As stated.
Is there Mrs. Franzen?
I second.
Seconded by Mrs. Franzen. Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mrs. Franzen?
Yes.
Hoover? Yes. Ms. Royce?
Yes.
Mrs. Bowling?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Gertman?
Yes.
Mr. Braden?
Yes, ma'am.
All members present voting yes, the motion carries. At this point, council will enter executive session. And when we return, we have two other items to consider. Then we will have adjournment. So at this time, anyone who is not an elected official or member of city administration, we ask that you exit council chambers, and we will notify you upon the completion of executive session. Thank you. Executive session. We still have two items, two communications to consider. The first is a letter from Ken Miracle regarding reports. Mrs. Franzen.
I move that we receive and file the letters if read.
Is there a second? Mr. Gurdon.
Second the motion.
Seconded by Mr. Gurdon. Motion on the floor by Mrs. Franzen, seconded by Mr. Gurdon, is to receive and file the letter as if read. Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mrs. Franzen?
Yes.
Mrs. Hoover?
Yes.
Ms. Royce?
Yes.
Mrs. Bowling?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Gurton?
Yes.
Mr. Braden?
All members present voting yes, the motion carries. Next item is a communication from Mr. Miracle regarding the retention schedule. Mrs. Bowling.
I make a motion that we receive and file as if read.
Motion by Mrs. Bowling to receive and file the letter as if read. Mrs. Hoover.
I'll second.
Seconded by Mrs. Hoover. Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mrs. Franzen?
Yes.
Mrs. Hoover?
Thanks.
Ms. Royce?
Yes.
Mrs. Bowling?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Gurton?
Yes.
Mr. Braden?
Yes, ma'am.
All members
Yes.
present voting yes, the motion carries. We have no absent members. Mr. Braden,
Thank you, Mr. President. Motion to adjourn, please.
is there a second? Ms. Royce?
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Mrs. Franzen?
Yes.
Mrs. Hoover?
Yes.
Ms. Royce?
Yes.
Mrs. Bowling?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Gurton?
Yes.
Mr. Braden?
Yes, ma'am.
All members present voting yes. The motion carries. This meeting is hereby adjourned.
Yeah, it's been a month.